Good afternoon. I'll call the meeting to order. Today's meeting is being streamed via the Township of Addington Highlands YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today by attending a public meeting of council, you're consenting to your image, voice, and comments being recorded. Anyone invited to speak will be recorded, and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair and/or clerk have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the termination or interruption of the live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances where deemed relevant. Circumstances may include instances where the content of debate is considered misleading, defamatory, or potentially inappropriate to be published. Notice is hereby provided that under the authority of the Municipal Act 2001 and in accordance with Ontario's Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, that all information provided for or at a public meeting / consultation or other public process are considered part of the public record. Members of council staff, delegations, and attendees should be mindful of using names of individuals or entities when discussing matters in public. Attendees are advised that they may be subject to legal action if their actions result in inappropriate or unacceptable behavior and/or comments. As per the township's procedure bylaw as amended, all votes during electronic meetings will be recorded votes. All of council is present in the council chambers. Thank you. The next item is the agenda. We want to amend the agenda to, under delegations, to add our warden, Nathan Townend. I want to welcome our warden, Nathan Townend, to our council meeting today. It's nice to see you here, and we appreciate your presence. So we have a motion to approve the agenda as amended, moved by Councillor Hook, second by Councillor Yench. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Councillor Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yench?
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Adoption of the minutes of our regular meeting, November the 18th, 2025. Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Hook. Any errors or omissions? None noted. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Councillor Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yench?
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Next item on the agenda, under business arising from the minutes, is the appointment of head of council. I'll turn that over to you. Do you want to have any comments, Christine?
I don't have any comments. I did create a report for council information as to the different scenarios based on the resolution that was adopted at the last council meeting. Do member of council have any questions on that report? No, so if there are no questions, there are two resolutions that I've included in the agenda. The first being the resolution to receive the report prepared by myself regarding the appointment of the head of council. That would be the first resolution. The second resolution would be where members of council appoint the new head of council. And then depending on which member of council is appointed as the head of council, we will have some subsequent resolutions which we can address after that. One important thing to note, if council puts forward a resolution to appoint an individual, we need to make sure that that individual is willing to accept that appointment. And that's all I have, unless there are any additional questions.
Thanks, Christine. So the first item there is a draft resolution to receive the report prepared by our CO, moved by Councillor Yench, second by Councillor Hook. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Councillor Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yench?
Yes.
That motion is carried. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda, part of that is your wishes as to who you want to appoint as the head of council. Councillor Hook?
This be in the form of a motion? We're looking for a
Yeah.
motion. You said a resolution?
Yep, and I have a draft one on the agenda.
Okay. I would like to nominate Deputy Reeve Fritch for the position of Reeve.
Mover, second, moved by Councillor Hook, seconded by Councillor Thompson. I guess I guess I have to accept before you vote, otherwise we have to pick somebody else. Okay, mover and a seconder. So I guess we'll call the vote. Counselor Thompson,
Yes.
Counselor Hook.
Yes.
Counselor Yance.
Yes.
That motion is carried. So we do this. Go ahead.
So now that council has appointed the new head of council, we thought it prudent at this time for the new head of council to take his declaration of office. So Deputy Reeve Fritsch will stand and read the declaration.
I think it'd probably be all right. So I, Tony Fritsch, having been appointed to the office of Reeve in the municipality of Addington Highlands, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. And I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. I did come prepared just in case. I just had a couple words to say. To Councillor Lianch, Councillor Hook, and Councillor Thompson, thank you very much for your confidence in me and appointing me as Reeve for the remainder of this term of council. I am humbled by your support. I am making my commitment to each of you on council, to all of our township staff, and to our community and its residents and ratepayers, that I will fulfill the duties of the Reeve to the very best of my ability. Every one of us, from council to staff to our residents, working together for the betterment of our community, will continue to make Addington Highlands a great place to be. I look forward to the future working with all of you. Thank you. Now on to business.
So now that we've made that decision, I have a few other things that I need council's decisions on. The first of which is the selection of the deputy reeve, keeping in mind that the deputy reeve will represent the township of Addington Highlands at county council or on county council. The procedure bylaw stipulates that, and we're amending this slightly, or taking some latitude in the fact that it only references after a municipal election. So despite the fact that we have not just had a municipal election, it does state that the position of deputy reeve for the township shall be offered firstly to the councillor who, number one, has received the highest number of votes in the municipal election and who elected to qualify as an elector in a ward other than the one in which the reeve elected to qualify as an elector. So in this case, our head of council is now representing Ward 1, which means that the position of deputy reeve would first be offered to the councillor from Ward 2 who received the highest number of votes at the last municipal election. And that councillor is Councillor Hook. So should Councillor Hook be willing to accept that appointment, he would be the one that would represent council at county council as the deputy reeve.
I will accept that position. Thank you.
So if we could have a motion to appoint Deputy Reeve Fritsch.
Make that motion. Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Yance.
I misspoke, Deputy Reeve.
Yes.
Sorry, it's just been a course of practice for the last, I don't know how many years. Sorry about that.
So we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried.
Yeah, so I have two other boards that we need to consider. Reeve Hogg was appointed as the township's representative on the East Lennox and Addington OPP Detachment Board. They are scheduled to meet, I believe, early in the new year. So I believe it's prudent to, despite the fact that we don't have a full complement of council at this time, I do find it prudent to select our appointment to that detachment board.
So I just want to make it known, I would be quite honored to be on that board. So if council so wishes.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Thompson,
Rich to accept that position.
second by Councillor Yench. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yench.
Yes.
That motion is carried.
And next, I have one more. Reeve Hogg also sat on the Caledar-Barrie Joint Fire Committee, along with Councillors Thompson and Councillor Hook. They are scheduled to meet, I believe, in December, so I also think it's prudent at this time to select a third representative from council to sit on that committee.
Go ahead, Councillor Yench.
I'll volunteer for that position. I was replaced Reeve Hogg earlier in his term, so I'll just finish it up if it so desires, yeah.
Councillor, and you do you have a motion? You're making the motion?
I'll make the motion, sure.
Okay. Moved by Councillor.
No second.
Second by Councillor Thompson. Thank you, Councillor Yench. So we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yench.
Yes,
That motion is carried.
I actually apologize. I do have one more thing.
Have another one?
I do. We need to appoint an alternate to county council as well. So at this point, Reeve Fritsch and Deputy Reeve Hook will be our representatives, but in the event that either of them are unable to participate, we need to select an alternate to county council. Now, we can do this one of two ways. We could do it now, or like all of the other township committees, we can wait until that final vacancy is filled in the new year. It's whichever your wishes are.
Any comments?
Well, county has what, just one meeting this month? Or do they have one this month?
One more. Yes, one meeting. Typically, it's a
Both of you-
meeting a month.
Both of yous are available for that meeting, right?
Yes.
So we could wait maybe
Wait.
till
Fantastic.
January.
Perfect.
Do you want a motion to that effect? We don't need one? Okay. Okay, so we'll just defer that to January.
If I might, just so to close this process out, what the appointments council just made, address the vacancy of the head of council position. So at our next meeting, we will declare the Councillor Ward 2 seat vacant that was once held by former Deputy Reeve Fritsch. And then I can provide council with an update on the process to fill that vacancy at the December 16th meeting.
Okay, we're on to item 4.2, the Rogers Communication Tower proposal with its new location. Do you want to speak to that, Patricia?
Sorry, I can, thank you. I
Okay.
don't have much to add to the report, just wanted to provide council with an update that we had received information. I had followed up on the question from the last council meeting as to the previous location of the tower at 1417 Hughes Landing Road, and they did confirm that that location was no longer viable, and that is why they provided the new site selection and justification report. And they did, we did provide all of the information they needed to proceed with their public notice. And they have that notice in this week's December 4th edition of the paper inviting comments, and that comment period will end on January the 3rd. So that information was included in this report that went to council. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. So I think I had one question first. Is there, because this is kind of a very late site selection in the whole process, and they all to be constructed by the end of next year, is there anything else that you're aware of that the township needs to provide for this project at this stage at all?
At this stage, no. Once the consultation period ends in January, they will come back to us with those comments, provide that summary to us, and look to council for concurrence with the project. Then they will provide that with their package and be able to proceed. That would be the last thing they would need from us.
Thanks, Patricia. Any other questions? Are you moving, you making the motion, Councillor Yance? Okay.
I'll make a motion to receive the report.
Moved by Councillor Yance, second by Councillor Hook. Any other questions? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Councillor Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yance?
Yes.
That motion is carried. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. None noted. Delegations and petitions. Warden Nathan Townend.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. I find it interesting that that the oath of office was given to the previous monarch and not the reigning one. And the reason I point that out is because when I gave a speech in the courthouse with respect to honoring past Warden Hogg, I made comment about the fact that for me, you know, Henry was like Elizabeth II, this, you know, kind of great figure that everyone thought would always be there, you know, but everyone's time does come to a close. And I am very conscious and aware that it's a very different Addington Highlands without him. And so I just want to take the opportunity to extend my condolences to Addington Highlands Council, as I have done, of course, to Mr. Fritsch, and to say that I very much admired Henry myself. He was an important figure to me around the county horseshoe. But today is a new day. And I just want to express my heartfelt appreciation for council's decision in respect of appointing Reeve Fritsch to his place. As a colleague of who I know as Tony, around the county table, I can state pretty emphatically that he is universally respected. Tony is known as a kind, compassionate, thoughtful, and hardworking fellow. And I can say when Tony speaks at county council, everybody listens. Careful to gain by his wisdom and experience and perspective. And I have every confidence in his leadership, and I know that Henry would approve, and I'm sure is smiling down on us all. I've also had the opportunity recently to get to know Deputy Reeve Hook, who is also no stranger to the county, and I'm very excited to work with him as well. And so I extend my congratulations to him and council in respect of his appointment also. So simply as warden, thank you for these two appointments and thereby continuing Addington Highlands' long tradition of providing robust counsel and contribution to Lennox and Addington County. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden Townend, for your very thoughtful and kind comments to our municipality and certainly to Deputy Reeve. Hook and to myself. We look forward to working together. I think the relationship between upper and lower tiers in our county is excellent, and I know we will all work hard to make it continue that way. So, on to matters for consideration. Northbrook Foodland and a request to sell alcohol during statutory holidays. Moved by Councillor Thompson to approve that request, I assume. Seconded by Councillor Yanch. Any questions, comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
That motion is carried. Next item, 7.2, is the Land O'Lakes Emergency Food Bank. We've had a request from the actual food bank operators that has gone to both the Township of Addington Highlands and the Township of North Frontenac, looking for their assistance, I guess, in helping for a search for a new food bank. And the timeline that was sort of originally thought that they needed to find a new home was March 1st next year. However, there's been a slight pause maybe on that date, and I would invite Warden Townend if he wants to make some comments about the health unit in Cloyne pending closure, which was sort of the root cause of this food bank looking for a new home.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to make myself available to council for any questions in respect to that, and to provide an update in my capacity as the representative of Lennox and Addington County on the Board of Health. As council will note, a decision was made at the last Public Health Board meeting last Wednesday to withdraw recommendations to close a number of satellite, 8 altogether satellite locations that Public Health has in other of the rural parts of what is now the Southeast Health Unit. As a separate recommendation on that agenda had been the closure of the Cloyne office. I deemed it, in my own personal view, as a board member and as the representative of LNA, that decision was too precipitous, given some of what I consider to be the need for greater public consultation and working with local stakeholders, in this case, the food bank, to try and find alternate locations, et cetera. And so another board member and myself moved to defer the closure of the Cloyne office in with those other 8, which essentially means that from the board's point of view and the board's direction, those closures are currently off the table until such time as the board is satisfied that there's a better, more clear criteria and process in place to address any potential closures, which would need to satisfy a fairly high threshold of public consultation. So I just wanted to let council know that for now we've, frankly, got some time and bought us some time to be able to help the food bank out. And then, taking off my strictly public health board hat again as warden, anything we can do at the county to try and put our heads together and think about what we can do. Food security is an important issue in our communities. It's certainly a public health issue. And as someone that lives in a remote and rural area myself, I live on Amherst Island, I'm always acutely aware of the challenge of finding bricks and mortar in rural areas. So I know it's a challenge. So anything we can do at the county to help, but for now, hopefully we have some more time.
Yes, that is good news. Does not mean it will not close. It just means for sure we have some more time. And appreciate your comments, Warden Townend, and providing input to our council. We, because I just have a couple of comments on it. Because the Township of North Frontenac and the Township of Addington Highlands are pretty well equal stakeholders in this food bank in terms of the people the food bank serves, and its central location, essentially on the border of the two municipalities. And implied too in the letter or email from the food bank operators is, I believe we need like a collaborative approach with North Frontenac. And I did have a discussion with our CAO, a suggestion, just putting it on the table for council's discussions, that we sort of kick this discussion off by having a meeting with the mayor of North Frontenac, myself, our Reeve, and both CAOs, one from each of the respective municipalities, to broach this issue and start this discussion going and this search, because we don't want to just sort of sit here and wait for another date to be stake to be driven in the sand and react at that time. So I think it's advisable for us to start our search now. So put that out there for council's discussion. Go ahead, Councillor Hook.
Like that, excuse me, just a few comments on the food bank letter and the health unit, which are tied together. Of course, the food bank, we had just awarded Red and Lois Eamon the Citizens of the Year, and I think through the community support, we know how invaluable that service that they provide to the food bank is. No one will argue that. I had a discussion this morning, though, with a person in the know about the health unit, and what is the most important thing that they thought was being provided by the health unit today, and it was the water testing. We have trailer parks, and the water testing is very, very important, as we have a lot of seasonal residents and permanent residents that all rely on that water testing. So that's probably currently the main service that is invaluable to the area right now. However, in the letter, the press release that was released, it said the ones that are over 50 kilometers away from a major center were going to be considered to be closed. Of course, we are far and beyond that. So instead of having that kind of condition, we are now underserviced. That was the reasoning to close it. And from what I found out this morning, the reason why it's underserviced is because the Ministry of Health has pulled those services away over a period of years. I learned that one time there was a public health nurse in the area. Joan Keller was here to service the area. And when Joan retired, they never replaced her. They used to do immunization clinics for the school, and that was no longer needed because they started doing them in the school, although then it was thought that the health unit would be used for catch-up in case for the kids are away, or maybe the clinic was during hunting season, a lot of kids were away, they would provide the catch-up on immunizing those children. And of course, the location was perfect. It was just across the road. They also had a free dental health clinic there for kids from across the road, and that was canceled. It was probably poorly advertised, but it wasn't felt that it was used enough. So again, it was these services were pulled away over time, but those services or other services in need could be brought in. The food bank, of course, is free to the, I did have a number on how many families use the food bank. And even though it's not under the umbrella of the Ministry of Health, it is under the umbrella providing food to families, is under the umbrella of the Ministry of Children's and Community Services. So, I mean, there is like a government need there or a purpose that is being filled at really no cost. I mean, these are all volunteers running the food bank. So I think it's deplorable that they would consider, if they knew all the facts, why it is under service and what is being offered there now at no charge, I think it would be, their decision would be changed, I hope. And not only that, I also learned like the other ones are being leased. So you have lease payments every month. Ministry of Health or the public health unit, somebody, that they own that. That's their building. So they don't have any lease payments. So it doesn't cost, and there was a year figure to run it. Warden, what was the line item on that? Can you share that? Or is that confidential?
No, actually, yes, it might be.
Okay.
I might be.
Okay. Well, they don't have lease payments anyways, we report that. So it's not a very expensive operation to man, and if they close it, those two staff would probably be going somewhere else. So it's not, I mean, the wages wouldn't be considered. So it's just the taxes or upfront costs. So anyways, that's my 2 cents. And I support your idea of meeting with the mayor and the CAO of North Frontenac. And it's so easy sometimes to take away the services from small rural communities. We see that all the time. And this is one I think we should fight for.
Thank you, Councillor. Go ahead, Councillor Yance.
Yes, then,
Deputy Reeve Hook. So,
thank you, Deputy Reeve Hook. That was very good. You made a lot of good points. I sat on the Board of Health a few years ago, and I'll be honest, they just keep drawing things away and away, and I'm not even sure that it could possibly be in the urban areas as well. I was really frustrated sitting on the committee, and because there was nothing ever getting done. What is it that the public health actually does? I'd like a list of things that they do. All they were doing was just making, applying for some grants so they could hire somebody for 6 months or 8 months and do some kind of follow-up on radiation or something. I just think that public health needs to get back to doing what public health should be doing, water. And I'm sorry, David, they should be doing septic. They should be doing immunization. They should be doing all those basics that we grew up with. And I see nothing that public health actually does, nothing. So that are my 2 cents.
thank you, Councillor Yance. Any other comments? Back to Deputy Reeve Hook's comments too on services that are provided there. Certainly something, an issue, right? To broach that is, that's the whole, just flip the table 180 degrees, right? And say, let's look at what we can do to keep it open and provide a service to a community, and what the services can be added to that facility. There's probably lots of things that could be used occasionally for. I mean, not that they're going to staff it with more people, but other services that public health provides. Yeah, utilizing it here because it is the only office in this area, so it has quite a catchment area. Okay, do we have a resolution to, you're going to make one, Councillor, Deputy Reeve Hook, for the initial kickoff meeting between the two municipalities to broach? Okay. Thank you. Second by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Hook, Deputy Reeve Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion is carried. Okay. Next item on our agenda is a resolution 7.3 from the Township of Selwyn. Looking for support of the resolution that's urging the province to reinstate eligibility for curbside blue box collection for nonprofit organizations such as food banks. What are your wishes? Councillor Yance?
I make a motion to receive and support, but I was just wondering, I guess that would affect us as well if with our nonprofit organizations that needing Blue Box assistance.
They're talking about curbside collection though, right? So there's some differences there. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but it's similar.
Any other comments? So you made a motion.
I kind of took this motion a little bit differently because I assumed that in the township of Selwyn, everyone got the curbside collection. So, but they were just singling out nonprofit organization as kind of in that ICI group. That's the way I took it. So I would support Councilor Yanch's motion because we do have not-for-profit organizations here that might be called in the ICI bin. Would that be like community services or which ones do you know of, Brett?
Yeah, your church groups, I believe, would be not-for-profit as well.
What about the Lions? They're not really a not-for-profit, they're a service club.
I would hate to speculate on any of those items. Like, I don't know who's declared as not-for-profit as well, so.
However,
Anyways, for what it's worth, I think to include not-for-profits in the ICI group, I think would be a good thing for us.
so we have a mover and a seconder? So I think you moved it, but I thought Deputy Reeve, Hook had seconded it. Yes. Thanks. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yanch?
Yes.
And that motion's carried. Thank you. So next one is 7.4 resolution from the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry. The thrust of it is for their desire to retain the conservation authorities, essentially, I think, in the structure they have now.
I'll
So
make a motion to receive and support.
motion to receive and support by
I'll
Councillor,
second it.
seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any comments? Go ahead, Deputy Reeve Hook.
This almost seems like the same issue as kind of centralizing everything. And sometimes I think it's better the devil that you know than the devil you don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know what the current system is.
Yeah, exactly. Any other comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
That motion is carried. This one's the resolution and item 7.5 from the municipality of Wawa seeking endorsement on their resolution calling on the province of Ontario to ensure that women, two-spirit, and gender diverse people, particularly from Indigenous and Northern communities, are actively engaged at the forefront of all planning, consultation, and implantation processes under Bill 5. What are your wishes? Councillor Yanch.
Motion to receive and support.
Moved by Councillor Yanch,
Second that.
seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any comments? None. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch. And that motion is carried. Item 7.6 of the resolution from the town of Ajax seeking support of their resolution asking the provincial government to take action on the requests of the Solve the Crisis campaign. This was really initiated by the big city mayors of Ontario dealing with homelessness and housing. And what are your wishes? Deputy Reeve Hook.
Motion to receive and support.
Seconder, Councillor Yanch. Any other comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Councillor Hook.
Yes.
Deputy Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
That motion is carried. On to 7.7, resolution from the city of Hamilton seeking support in their resolution informing the government of Ontario and all Hamilton members of provincial parliament of its opposition to changes in the Residential Tenancy Act in Bill 60. There are 3 actions in that resolution specific to the city of Hamilton. And the last action they have in that resolution is to circulate their resolution to all Ontario municipalities.
I'll
So,
make a motion to receive.
motion to receive, seconded by Deputy Reeve Hook. Any comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yantch.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Pardon? Go ahead.
Before we move on for matters for information, I believe that Warden Townend does have some information with respect to Deputy Reeve Hook's question.
Yes. Thank you through you, your worship. I promise this will be the last time. When Deputy Reeve Hook asked me that question earlier, I had a panic on the spot when you, as you well know as counselors, sometimes you don't know what information you've had in a closed report or in an open report. So I checked, it is on the open report with respect to the Cloyne office closure from last Wednesday's meeting. And the annual costs to the public health unit associated with maintaining the Cloyne office are $15,500. Yep, that's correct.
Oh. Thank you for finding that out during the meeting. Much appreciated.
What
Go
was
ahead.
that amount again, please?
15,500 approximately.
Refresh, just a question. So just to clarify that, that's not wages or anything, that's just the cost, like be utilities, taxes, the upfront costs, okay. Not a big amount for a full year. Certainly a lot less than a lease.
Oh yeah. So I assume that includes their annual maintenance too, which would, yeah. Yeah, not a lot of money. Okay. Thank you for catching my attention. On to section 8, matters for information. Let me start off with a motion to receive all matters. Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Yantch. Anyone want to pull anything out of those matters of information to discuss? Go ahead, Councillor Yantch.
Just more of a comment on 8.9 about black bear harvest management. I read that through and I'm not sure whether I still don't know what the changes are going to be or whatever. So just a comment.
Yes, it isn't. It's not very clear. Thank you, Councillor Yantch. Any other comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yantch. That motion is carried. Reports of committees and boards. Nothing on Community Control Group or Head Committee, Personnel and Finance, Properties and Recreation. We have a meeting scheduled, December 17th. And now on to item 9.5, Working Group Waste Diversion, Waste Management. And then the specific item is non-eligible source recycling. And Brett, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, there's quite I guess a lengthy report there, and there's quite a discussion at our working group about the non-eligible source recycling. We looked at a lot of different scenarios on how we try to proceed without knowing anything, basically. So the other day, I guess, the 28th of November, I received an update from CMO, and they gave us a few more details, I guess, on the non-eligible recycling. I also called Amterra on December 1st, just asking about recycling haul. They've decided that they are they want to do the recycling haul themselves, and they're going to provide their own bins at our waste sites for the recycling. So it brought some more information to the table, I guess. So that's why the report was revised so late. I thought we might as well try and get it on this agenda and have everybody know as much as we could at this time. So is there any questions about the report? I tried to put in as much information as possible, and I'm willing to answer any questions, I guess.
Go ahead, Deputy Reeve Hook.
I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but I think it could be good because it looks like by the math that you did, and they gave us a figure of 81 kilograms per person, it looks like we recycle better than the norm, I guess, because we're under 81 kilograms per person. Is that correct? Because the figures you gave that we're going to be under the 100, is it 180? No, what is it? The figure you said. If we're over, I'm sorry.
I think it's about 218 tons.
218, yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten that high yet
No,
in history, so we probably won't have to pay anything for recycling. Is that correct?
that's the way I would interpret it at this point, unless something changes. So, yes. Now, the only thing that I have not saw any details from Mterra on, we would still have to have an agreement with them should we decide to commingle our recycling. Just in case for some reason 1 year, let's say we went to 220 tons or 230 tons, we may have to get them to haul a couple of loads of recycling for us. So you still have to plan for the worst case scenario. The average from the last 5 years is well below what they're allowing, or yeah, what they're giving us. So that's I think that's a good thing. I have had some discussions with Christine about it too, just to bring her into the loop. But yeah, I think it's probably it's a good thing for us, I think so.
Just to clarify, so the figures you gave us, our average tonnage of recycling was 142, and you list some other ones, but we've never been, and that is a co-mingled recycling, right? Because we've always co-mingled.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, I think that's very good news.
Yeah.
The unknown is we don't know how they're going to operate. And that's what I think our waste site people were concerned about. We don't know anything about how much notice they need for a pickup or anything like that. So that is a big unknown for us.
I guess I can speak to that a little bit now. I did receive some confirmation from Mterra there today and over the last couple of days, I guess. Just talking about how they foresee operating the recycling at the different waste sites. They're going to have a bunch of smaller bins there, anywhere from 14 to 8 or 10 smaller bins that will be there that they will pick up likely weekly. Now it depends through like a Hartsmere waste site or maybe even West Macon, that if they're not busy through the winter, it might be on an on-call basis type of thing where they would go to those sites. But it kind of depends on the remoteness with those. If they're going at West Macon, the one advantage there is over there is I believe Tudor Cashel has a waste site there as well, so they might do them both on the same run type of thing if they're going through. So so there's those factors that come into play when they're going to pick stuff up. So yeah, the orientation of the waste sites will be is my biggest concern at this point. And they have asked us to look after January for them as well for the hauling of recycling and using our bins. So that gives them a little more time to get things in order on their end.
Are there any other questions for Brett? So Brett, first of all, thank you very much for continuing to beat the bushes and hound whoever you had to hound to try to get some answers, because I know as sitting in the working group, it was a challenge, right? To try to make decisions or recommendations to council when we all were feeling that there's some key pieces of the puzzle missing. So thank you for flushing out a couple more pieces of that puzzle to the point where at least we can make a decision. It looks like there's two things I think you were looking for. One is our council's approval to commingle IC&I with our, I'm going to say, our residential recycling, and for you which then is really for you to fill out this poll, that's survey or whatever you're calling it, the form, filling that out to state that we would be doing that. And maybe the second one is that, and I'm not sure if you need a resolution or not, that you're pursuing the cost with Mterra to haul and dispose any recycling if we exceed this limit without getting into all the details.
Yeah, that would make sense, Tony.
Those two items, is there anything else you're aware of we need to make a decision on?
The only other thing is, I guess maybe we should have a resolution from council that we're willing to haul the recycling from for Mteria during that little bit of a transition period. The month of January is what they're saying at this point. I would hate to put a defined date on it, just in case it runs into February, then we've got to bring it back to council again as well, right? So
okay, so that would then include, yeah, willing to haul for Mterra during this transition from Addington Highlands hauling to Mterra hauling.
yeah, that's correct.
We don't have the resolution yet, but do you have those three items, Christine?
I have the first one
Okay, so
where we opt to we're going to receive the report.
yes,
And then we're opting to commingle the recycling from the different sources. The second one,
so that includes then completing this poll that we're doing that.
okay,
It's all part of that. The second one is asking our manager of roads and waste to work with Mterra to come up with a cost to rehaul and dispose of recycling for us if we exceed whatever that
I
number
think
is.
it's about 81 kilograms per household.
81 kilograms per household average. I assume that you can sort of assume they would not know that until they get near the end of the year. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And the third one is that we approve hauling it during this for Mterra during this transition from Addington Highlands to Mterra as the hauler. And Brett's okay with that. So,
just 1 second.
okay.
I'm good now.
Good now. Okay. So we have a mover of that motion, moved by Deputy Reeve Hook, seconded by Councillor Yanch. Are there any other comments or questions? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Councillor Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Yanch,
Yes.
and that motion is carried. Before we leave this one, are there any other questions on recycling Brett's report? I don't think we had a motion to receive it, did we? No.
I included it
Oh, you included it.
in
Okay.
the original one. I hope that's okay. Deputy Reeve Hook and Counselor
Yes.
Yetch.
Thank you. Thanks again, Brett, for flushing out some more information and the report. Next item on the agenda is 10.1.2 RFQ for the 2025. Oh, sorry. Looking at the page in the wrong spot. Somebody's keeping me on track. So we have anything on the OPP detachment board? No. Library board? Joint Fire Committee? Reports of officers, 10.11, roads and waste update. Brett.
Yeah, I guess just a little update on the roads in the area. We've been trying to touch them up with some grading as we've been able, but it sounds like with this cold weather moving in, that's going to be on hold for a little bit. We've been doing some brushing on Copeland Lake Road and Tower Road and some other roads in Ward 1 to open up the roads for visibility and allow us a little more sun and air in at the roads to dry them out a little bit quicker in the spring, hopefully. As far as the waste sites go, we're cleaning up some waste sites now that traffic volumes have slowed on our roads and air traffic in our waste sites has slowed and winter started to move in. And we are currently working at amending Schedule C of our waste bylaw so it matches the new recycling guidelines that CMO has given us. So there's a few items that have been added that weren't there before. So we just want to make sure that everything's exactly the same, basically, for the residents so that we can do things appropriately. So that should be coming on the next meeting in December. So.
Thank you for your report, Brett. Do we have any questions for Brett? Don't see any, so thank you very much, Brett. We have a motion to receive Brett's report. Councillor Thompson. Deputy Reeve Hook. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
And Councillor Yantz.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Thanks, Brett. Now we're on to 10.12, the RFQ for 2025 signage project. You want to speak to that one, Patricia or Brett? Okay.
Well, I guess Patricia wants me to talk about it. This was a combined effort to do this. We received 8 RFQs. 5 of them included installation. I did a little summary up there for you, but we're recommending that maximum signs be awarded the project, and it will be completed in 2026. For the provision of the signs and installation of the ones that on the county roads and such. So, yep. Is there any questions about it?
I had a question because I only don't remember the number roughly, but the amount of money we had tucked away for that project.
So we had deferred revenue of $40,257.
Okay, so that provides a little bit of a cushion for anything in that project that's additional work on our part or whomever. So thank you. One thing that Councillor Yantz.
When they're making the signs, do they send back photos or anything so we can make sure that the signs are being done correctly and the way of our liking, or how does that work? Because I mean, I drive the roads all over the place and there's not just necessarily in our township, but in other areas, there's errors and I'm thinking, oh, or it doesn't look, the sign doesn't look nice, or they got the sign this way and it should be this way or something. So I just wondered, do we have any control after we say we're going to go with this company?
Yeah, typically they provide proofs. They'll do a mock-up type of thing and send us back some details, proofs of signs. That's our opportunity to look for spelling errors, stuff like that. Maybe the coloring's not what we had stipulated, or the lettering looks funky. First, I'm just thinking of things that might come up. So, but yeah, so that'll be our chance to go through and have a good review of the documents before the signs are actually made or installed.
Thank you.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
I think the choices that you made are good ones. It's amazing to me, the range in prices from 33,000 to 120. That must be with the gold lettering on that version. But I mean, the warranty is good too. So yeah, it looks like a good choice. Does this include the medical sign, or is that separate? Medical signs included in here? I know you did supply the proofs. I just don't have it in front of me.
It includes the sign, but not the installation of the sign.
Okay.
We weren't sure how they were going to be installed on what, so we didn't want to get into that. That was kind of a decision that we made. That being said, should we decide that we want them to install it, I'm sure we could approach that company to see if they would work with us to come up with an installation. So.
Okay, any other questions? Just a comment is, thank you again to staff who've pursued for a while, getting through lots of hurdles, getting this project to this point. That's great, and our community will look and feel a little different when we drive down the roads and approach buildings when this is finished. So, thank you again. So we have a draft resolution here to receive this report and award this signage project to Maximum Signs. Moved by Councillor Yatch, second by Councillor Thompson. Any other comments? Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yatch?
Yes.
And that motion's carried. And our next item is 1013, the Bridge Street Culvert Replacement Update. I'll turn that over to you, Brett.
Yeah, I guess we've been working away at this, trying to get things moving as quickly as we can. So Hydro One has been out to the site to look at the pole that's directly over top of the culvert. That would be hindering any operations we can do. So they've been out to look at it. We've agreed on the new location of the hydro pole where it would go, and it's high on their priority list, I guess, to get completed as far as the moving of the pole. Until that pole is moved, there's not a whole lot we can do there. So we can start to talk to people about doing the work, and I have started initial conversations and looking for pricing on some culvert materials and stuff like that, just to get a feel for it anyways. And I've also engaged an environmental specialist to look at the culvert and the water flow, or the water bodies around the area there. So DFO timing restrictions were attached in the report. And our specialist has said that he believes that this would be classified as a warm water fishery in the lake because it's so shallow, and it's typically bass and such type of fish that would be in that type of lake. So that opens up our options to do the work possibly in the wintertime, should we choose to do that. And that's kind of the way we're leaning. I had an older quote from a culvert supplier on a multi-plate culvert to put in there. And was roughly around $95,000 plus tax for a similar size multi-plate culvert going back in the same location. Not installed, it's just the culvert itself. So our environmental specialist I just got it yesterday, I believe, a draft. You have to put a DFO, a report into the DFO, Department of Fisheries and Oceans, and tell them what you're planning on doing before you can go ahead with the work. So that's sitting in my inbox right now. I have to review it, and we'll just keep on moving on from there. We're looking to get this work done as quickly as possible. I know everybody's anxious to get things opened up again, so we're doing everything in our power to get it done, but it's sometimes you just gotta do it right, I guess, and make sure you have all the proper information before you go ahead. So
Thank you for the report, Brett. Do you have counselor questions for Brett? Go ahead, Councillor Thompson.
Not so much a question, I guess. I think that's good news to hear that we're we don't want to spend money on a temporary fix. You don't have to tear it in the spring, start again. I mean, I did have another idea, but I mean, if we can go ahead with this, it's great, because I think you've probably heard of road map or mats. They're like 1-inch pieces of steel plates that they use them in construction in cities. So when they dig a trench out, they put these pieces of steel over so that you can drive over them. And I think that would probably work in this situation because the road's already there. But anyways, if we're going to go ahead with this, we don't have to worry about spending any other money on a Band-Aid solution. So I think it's good if we can get it done. So
yeah, we're working to get it done as soon as we can. Yeah, it's not it can't we'd like it's one of those things where you just gotta get everything rolling, right? And we're on our way, I guess, that way, to try and get it done as quickly and efficiently as possible. So no problem.
Just a couple of questions or comments, Brett. So when you look at the report, at least on fish species and the region that we're in, it's looking like March 15th, 2026, if we're doing winter work, if we're doing that's kind of the deadline for getting out of there, not working I'm gonna say not working in the water course at all, which is probably some adequate time for us. I mean, it's 14 weeks away. So this project is, I don't personally have experience in it, but the actual work, is it a week's work, from the time people mobilized? I'm not asking for exact. The time you get on site, how big a job would it be?
Well, there will be you got to do some preemptive work, obviously, too. Like there's some dewatering that you're going to have to do. So I'm going to say, I would hate to guess. It all depends on the winter, right? There's so many different variables that come into play. If, for example, if there's so much frost in the ground there that they have to start to use a jackhammer or a hoe ram on an excavator to dig out the culvert, then that makes a difference on how long it takes. I think it's probably doable depending on when we can get all the approvals to go ahead to get it done for March 15th, and depending on availability of contractors as well. I think it's probably doable, but there is other factors that come into play that kind of under our control, right? Same as every other construction job, when weather can play a factor as well. So
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think we all understand, you can have a nasty, nasty cold winter, and that makes work like that a longer duration and more expensive. So, and yeah. So I know we can receive your report, but as far as council's approval today, maybe we should have a resolution for you to go ahead with our permitting process and get all the approvals completed to do the work? Do we require that resolution from council today? What are your thoughts, Christine?
Yeah, I'm looking to Brett for some feedback here, but I don't think that's a bad idea if we have a resolution just approving his update and providing staff the authority to move ahead with the permitting process. I think that's wise. Is that what you need, Brett?
Yeah, I guess that's probably the best option. We still don't, there's still a lot of variables that we don't know yet. So, but the sooner we get things approval started, the sooner we get we get going, right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that we don't want council decisions made every 2 weeks to be a hindrance to you getting the work done. So, yeah, so if we had a resolution to provide you with authority to go ahead with all the permitting process for that project, and any applications that had to be filled out, that type of thing, then we wouldn't be holding you back.
Yeah, so I'd make that resolution.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Thompson.
ASAP.
Yeah. Second by Councillor Yatch. No pressure. Yes, it's certainly a lot of community interest in that culvert, and I appreciate the work that you're putting into it, Brett. So thank you very much. Okay, so we have a resolution. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook,
Yes.
and Councillor Yatch.
Yes.
That motion is carried. Thanks again. We're on to 10.2.1 CBO report for November 2025. David.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here. CBO report for the month of November. 135 permits have been issued up to date of this report. 35 permits were for septic. Inspection of existing open permits are ongoing. I did want to make the note that if there has been no construction activity in the last 6 months, a permit may be canceled. So what I would recommend to anyone, and I typically send out letters this time of year indicating or asking individuals where they are in the construction process, or they can certainly give my office a call and just indicate where they are, and that usually is enough to continue the construction of whatever they're building. If you let them lapse too much, it becomes a little bit of is this a forgotten project? And we don't want to see that happen. So typically I send out letters, and they will be going out shortly to those where I have not seen any construction activity in the last 6 months. I will be asking the question, where are you in your construction process, and can you please update me on that? So that I'm trying to keep things current that way. I get projects closed. Facilities management, projects completed. As you know, we had a very much a deteriorating situation there at the Northbrook Medical Center. Concrete pad underneath the canopy area was deteriorating excessively, and that's been replaced. Now, but when we were taking the old concrete pad out, we noticed around the brick that dresses up the columns that hold up the canopy, There is a 4x4 steel post in there that is anchored into the concrete, and because of the salt and snow and water laying around it, deteriorated very much so. I did have someone in and they re-bricked the column area so that it will be supportive of the canopy through the winter months. But we will have to look at replacing those columns in the new year, as you can almost reach your hand in there and flake off the steel. So I think it's salt, snow combination water. So we've got that to contend with next year, but so far it looks pretty good with the concrete work that has been completed. As I said, when they were taking out the concrete, we had some brick come out of the wall. We had individuals in, a couple of older gentlemen, I might say veterans, if you will, in the bricklaying industry. They came in and did some good work. We had some other little patched up areas they were working on, did a great job. I was really very, very pleased with what they did. So that's completed. Heating cables have been placed in the valley areas of the canopy, the Northbrook Medical Center. Might not seem like much of an issue, but last year we had a problem with snow buildup, and actually water was coming into the new vestibule area, leaking through the roof. So hopefully all the heating cables are plugged in. So if the temperatures drop and we get a melting, freezing situation, hopefully that alleviates that situation. At the ACK, we have a problem. We always have a problem up there with scuppers on the flat roof at the ACK. And they've been cleaned out. If we don't, we've had years in the past where water has run down the hallways. And so we want to avoid those kind of issues if we can. Needs a better cleaning next year, but I left that a little bit too late this year. I was able to clean out around the scuppers 2 or 3 feet, and that should suffice through the winter areas. Again, we have heating cables on that roof. They're all plugged in. Only reason I mentioned that, hopefully if I forget, somebody else remembers. And floor finishing at the Denby Hall should be complete in 2 weeks. Now, the floor refinishing at the Denby Hall, this is a second go at it. The first coating we had done in the spring did not last very well. It was the quality of the glaze we were using. We went back to what was used in the past, and we have someone that's going to start that process this weekend, and it needs a lot of ventilation. So because it is a very smelly process. The other wasn't so much so, but it just didn't hold up to the standards we were expecting. So that's being done a second time. Advertising for a rink attendant position in Denby at Heritage Park. I think we've got lots of interest in that position. And just a note, Ken, getting back to what you said about the health unit closure, it's interesting that you've done a little survey and found out that water quality testing is paramount. I, as a CBO, of course, before I grant an occupancy to anyone moving into a new home, do request a water quality report. And I happened to be talking with the health unit not that long ago, and they were giving me an idea of how the new system would work and water testing would work without the cloying office being there. And I'm thinking, oh. And the example they used really was downloading on the municipality. we would be collecting the samples. And then there would be a purulator sending them on down to Kingston. And I'm thinking, oh, well, that's another download. It just heaps more work on the municipality and staff members here. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So I couldn't believe it was going on, and I was glad to see that the board mentioned that. Yeah. So that's kind of been settled out for a moment or two till we get better opinions on really what the impacts are. Bylaw enforcement, one dog bite to report. And I've been harping on this all year. Dogs running at large won't be tolerated. We had a situation back on Glastonbury, and a bite occurred. The dog was kept under quarantine for the recommended period of time. Health unit was involved. Animal control bylaw officer was involved. I was involved. The owner of those animals does realize now that anything outside, if you've got animals, dogs outside your home, they've got to be on a leash, or there's got to be a fence around the area. They can't be allowed to run loose. And that's what happened in this case. Person was bitten in the hand. Great, that person is okay. So, but it was reinforced to the owner of that situation that if it happens again, animal control will pick up the dogs. That's my report.
Thank you, David. Do you have any questions on this report? No, no questions. You got off easy today.
I like questions.
We have a motion. I'll ask you some questions if you want.
Oh, no.
No. Go ahead, Councillor
Yeah, I
Thompson.
do have one statement then, when you put it that way. So you should realize when you did the Denby dance hall, that we danced pretty aggressively up there. So you just can't put any second-rate stuff on the floor. It's gotta be good.
Is that what it is?
Great. Do I have a motion to receive David's report? Moved by Councillor Yance, second by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion is carried. Thanks again, David. Now we're on to CO Clerk Treasurer. Item 1031, 2025. Municipal Office Christmas Hours. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. This is just a reminder of council of the policy that was adopted in 2018, whereby it stipulates that the municipal office will be closed from 12 noon on December 24th until 8:30 a.m. on January the 2nd. There is a caveat that says that it could be changed subject to when the holidays fall, but this year that seems to work out fine. So the office will be closed from noon on the 24th until 8:30 on the 2nd. Admin staff in the office are required to use their own time in order to account for those closed hours. So vacation time or any time that has been banked can be used to offset that time. This is just a reminder.
Thank you, Christine. Any questions? Could I have a motion to receive the report moved by Deputy Reeve Hook, seconded by Councillor Yance. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Next item is 1032, WSIB coverage for volunteer firefighters.
Thank you. Each year, volunteer firefighters receive WSIB insurance coverage at a maximum insurable earnings of ceiling rate determined by WSIB. For 2025, that maximum insurable earnings ceiling was $117,000. For 2026, the maximum insurable earnings ceiling is $121,700. So the recommendation on the report is that whereas the Township of Addington Highlands has volunteer firefighters for whom it must provide worker safety and insurance board coverage on an annual basis, and whereas the annual WSIB premium for such volunteers must be based upon a deemed level of insurable earnings, now therefore the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Addington Highlands does hereby adopt the WSIB maximum insurable earnings ceiling of $121,700 as the basis for calculating WSIB coverage for all its volunteer firefighters in 2026.
Thank you, Christine. Any questions for Christine on this item? None note, we have a draft resolution. We have a mover, moved by Deputy Reeve Hook, second by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yance.
Yes.
That motion's carried. One more for you, Christine, 1033, 2026 council meeting schedule.
Thank you. So attached to the report is the proposed 2026 meeting schedule for council's consideration. The schedule was drafted with meetings remaining on the first and third Tuesday of the month, with the exception of January, July, and August, with locations and times consistent with what has taken place in the past. One thing I will note, that January meeting, we flipped between Flinton and Denby. So last year, I believe it was held in Flinton. So this year, the January meeting is scheduled to be held in Denby.
Thank you. And just a question, is it November 17th? Is that the inaugural meeting?
Yes, we did forget to put that underneath, but November 17th will be the inaugural meeting held in Denby.
Comes fast.
Does.
Any questions on council meeting schedule? Do you need a motion to approve it? Yes, you have a draft resolution there. We have a mover, moved by Councillor Yantch, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote, Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yantch. That motion's carried. 10-4-1, memorandum of understanding, Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs. Is there any update, Patricia?
Thank you. Sorry, I don't have a written report or an agreement as I thought I might have at our last council meeting. I do have a draft from our solicitor, so a draft agreement to present to council, but we were just working on first round of comments back to the solicitor right now. So I just wanted to provide a report that we do have something that we can work on, provide some comments back to the solicitor. Currently, on this meeting, participating virtually is Carrie Shaw from the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs. She and I have been working together. She's been the representative that I have been working with recently. And we have two ways we could do this. I could continue to work with the solicitor, come up with a draft agreement, present it to council, and then council could then give their approval on it and we could present it to the snowmobile club, or I could take it to the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs. They could comment on it, bring comments back. We could work back and forth. And once we both come to a agreement on it, then present it to council for approval. So we could work away at this before the next December meeting, and then hopefully have something that we could put in front of council to approve. That may be the better solution. That way we can continue to work with the solicitor in the meantime. I'm certain Ms. Shaw is probably wanting to comment as well. So if council permitted, she could, if she is wanting to speak, she could turn her camera and mic on and provide comments if Reeve would.
So is it Ms. Shaw?
Carrie Shaw, yeah.
Carrie Shaw. If you're there, Carrie?
Hi, everybody.
Feel free to
Thank you
go
very
ahead.
much for your time. Yes, Patricia and I and Christine have been in conversation. So, as you know, we're the snowmobile club. So Mazenau is our snowmobile club that is primarily uses your roads and allowances, etc. And what we've done this year is we've reached out to all municipalities to try to get agreements, and we've been successful. And we're just hoping that we can come to a resolution sooner than later. Our guys are anxious to get out there and start grooming now that we've got some really good conditions to get a base going. And that's really all I have to say at this time. Is there any questions or concerns?
Do any members of council have any questions? Doesn't look like there's any questions, Carrie, so
Okay,
thank you. And I'll
thank you very much.
go back to Patricia.
Okay, so we would then just continue and work on the draft and present that back to Carrie. She could provide comments. We could take it back to the solicitor. So some of the comments that we provided to the solicitor in advance regarding the memorandum of understanding, instead of signing the one that was presented to us, we're actually looking at some of the roads that are traveled on are roads that we plow, so there's different, conditions that way. Roads that are plowed, that are unmaintained, but perhaps plowed by others. There was areas of concern where the pins did not appear to be owned by the municipality. There's concern that these road allowances are open road allowances and therefore cannot be restricted to just users with a permit for a snowmobile club, that type of thing. So that's what's being addressed in this agreement rather than signing that standard memorandum.
Okay, so you're looking for council approval, I believe, for you to staff to continue working with Carrie and the solicitor to come up with a draft agreement that will be presented to council, hopefully at the next council meeting.
Yes, that's my intent.
That's what you're looking for, okay.
I'd make that motion.
By Deputy Reeve Hook, seconded by Councillor Yantch. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Patricia, before any other comments? No. Okay, thank you. We'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yantch?
Yes.
And that motion is carried. Thank you, Patricia, for the verbal update. We're working our way through that one. Health and Safety Coordinator, the Health and Safety Policies Manual. Oh, I'm waiting for it to load up here. Are you speaking to it, Christine?
I can. In Tanya's absence, I don't mind speaking to the update. There isn't really much that has changed from last year's policy to what's presented to council at this meeting. The only notable change is that the standard operating procedures, we used to have one for every department. They were the same. So we consolidated those. So they're just a standard operating procedure, which would apply to all. And that's pretty much the extent of the changes. Of course, we've incorporated the harassment in the workplace policies that council approved a few months ago. Those updated ones have been included in this draft for council's consideration. So the recommendation is to receive and approve the revised health and safety policies manual.
Thank you, Christine. Are there any questions, members of council on? No. So we have a recommendation here to receive and approve the revised health and safety policies manual. Moved by Councillor Yantch, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson?
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook?
Yes.
Councillor Yantch? That motion is carried. Thank you, Christine, and thank you to Tanya in your absence for working on that. Nothing from the fire chief. Any reports from appointees under conservation authorities? Go ahead, Councillor Thompson.
Yeah, so our last meeting, I think Helen's probably was the same with the Mississippi, that this Bill 68 is pretty controversial. So I have some printouts here of the highlights of this. If this is approved, I mean, some of the municipalities won't even have representation. Like, I mean, they want to amalgamate all these people, all these CAs, and we would maybe not have anybody on. And the big thing about it is the ministry could override any decision that a conservation authority makes. So, and you know, it's very clouded with, so you take, Quinty has 30,000 acres of property. So what could possibly happen to that if the government decided to say, well, I think we're going to build houses on that, or we're going to do whatever. It's just too much power and not enough input from the municipalities that pay all the money. So I can get up in the hell, but yeah, this is just, you know, it's just kind of an update, and it's very clear. And I do think I'd like to make a motion that we make a resolution either for community conservation, opposing Bill 68.
You're making that motion?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Christine, do you want to comment on that first?
Just to clarify, are you making a motion that we will bring a more fulsome motion to the next council meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
perfect.
So you're hoping that would be for the next meeting?
Yes, because I
Yeah.
think all the input has to be in by December 22nd.
Okay, so we have time. Okay.
I'm so sorry. One other thing to note, Sally McIntyre, the general manager of the Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority, is attending our council meeting on December 16th as a delegation to discuss just this matter. I just wanted council to be aware of that.
Go ahead, Councillor Yanch.
Yes, this is, I find it very odd. Anyway, what's really annoying is also that they're going to have the super agency over all the 7 conservation authorities in the province now. So that's just sort of another level of what, and taking it out of the hands of local municipal leaders. And I think that have the conservation authorities over the years been perfect? No, they have not. And maybe they are doing things that other, people don't agree with or whatever. But on the whole, I think that they really, I'm sitting on Mississippi Valley. We're very concerned about water issues and other environmental issues as well. So I think it's time that we do take a stand on this. Thank you.
Christine, do you have that? Do you need clarification on this resolution?
So what I've noted is that it be resolved that a resolution be drafted for the next council meeting opposing Bill 60 and the changes to the proposed changes to the conservation authorities. Perfect. Yep. What I can do is we can work on that and circulate that back to you, but then.
Okay. So we had a mover and a seconder already. So we'll call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook,
Yes.
Councillor Yanch. That motion is carried, and thank you for both of you for bringing that forward. Number 12 is resolutions. Oh,
Just to comment on the Quinte Conservation Authority, I work very closely with them as a CVO. And I can honestly tell you for the last 3 years, we've had excellent representation there, just unbelievable. So.
thanks for the additional input, David. Item 13 is approval of accounts as of November 30th, 2025. Moved by Deputy Reeve Hook, seconded by Councillor Thompson. Any questions on our accounts? None noted here, so call the vote. Councillor Thompson,
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
That motion's carried. Any member statements? New business? No bylaws? No closed meeting? Confirming bylaw, 3 readings.
I'll give that 3 readings.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Yanch. Call the vote. Councillor Thompson.
Yes.
Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch. And that motion's carried. The motion to adjourn. Councillor Hook. Councillor Yanch. Call the vote. Councillor
Yes.
Thompson. Yes. Deputy Reeve Hook.
Yes.
Councillor Yanch.
Yes.
That motion is carried. And thank you very much for participating in the meeting this afternoon. The meeting is adjourned.